Welcome everyone to watching. This is the mighty episode 4 of the Mission Debrief, our weekly show where we bring on gamers who are part of the Art of War community for the most part, or a little bit outside of it, to talk about the recent tournament experiences, the armies they play, if they have any particular expertise, and what they are looking forward to in the hobby. I also go over a few of the more recent tournaments within the USA, and we talk about the kind of casual games we've been playing as well. Tonight we have the one, the only, TJ Lanigan. How you doing, TJ?
I'm doing great. Thanks for having me on here.
Yeah, it's always good to have you back. We got co-host Conor. What's going on, Conor?
What's up, everybody?
Yeah. So this week we have a lot more events that happened. Last week, because of Thanksgiving, there was almost nothing. So I know none of us went to tournaments this weekend, but we had some fun. TJ, you were over at my place, played what, like 4 games, I think?
Yep.
I think it's 4 games.
Orcs, Harleys, and Space Wolves.
Yeah. So I know you haven't played Jeff in a while. That was
that was an interesting game.
Yeah, he doesn't like buggies. He wants to play Goths again. So
yeah, he showed me his list earlier. It's
yeah,
like 200 boys basically again.
It's the same list from all of 8th edition.
Basically.
So you played, unfortunately, so all the games, guys, from this weekend, 7 games are being uploaded to the YouTube and Twitch channel, and they'll be finished uploading.
Where are you at right now?
Huh?
How many games have you uploaded already?
Uploaded 4.
4.
So
okay.
Your second game with Matei is being live tomorrow.
Yeah, I saw the NID ones coming out. So
yeah, so those are 4 up, 3 more coming out. It's a lot of content. It's a ton. So if you like the content, subscribe to the channel. It's free. It's nice to see. So I played a game last night for the first time in a while.
So yeah, let's hear about it.
Content.
I need to hear about this.
Videotape everyone else. So I played Admech because my friend, he has never played against Admech. Or no,
isn't that the super weak faction?
Yeah, Admech's terrible now. It's almost a disgrace even bringing it out. His only game against Admech was like early 8th edition. So I was like, well, the factions changed a little bit. So I took unfortunately what I have painted, which is the good stuff. I probably should have took a few other things. I took 3 Disintegrators. I took Call, Daedalosus, Manipulus, 2 units of Dog Riders, some 15 corporate Electro Priests, the Flying Guys, just a bunch of Cataphrons. And he was taking Necrons. He had those Destroyers with the 3d3 damage. He murdered a Disintegrator first turn, but they didn't have any staying power versus all the random mortal wounds and crap like that. So it was unfortunately I'm going to call it a learning experience.
Yeah, I mean, the Destroyers are in like a weird place for their
the Locust ones,
for their reanimation protocols, because like they just don't regen with your reanimation protocols as quickly as you would with other units like warriors and things like that. So it's a very interesting choice when you obviously take them. So
yeah, I mean 4 wounds, especially on the heavy destroyers, you almost never get one back. I mean, you have 2. Also, the only units has 3, whereas the other units have 6. They were sick. They could split fire and everything.
Yep.
But
you'd almost rather there were less wounds for like less points or something. Like 2 a guy or whatever would be better for reanimation.
Yeah, I mean, he's been using like Silent King and a Satan, and we sort of pushed him away from that because it's just too expensive. You're spending like what 750 points or something, or more than that, on, or almost 800 points on 2 units that really can't hold any objectives very well.
No, the rest of your list would have to be like 60 warriors.
Yeah,
you basically you're designed to hang out.
Right. If you're using him, yeah.
Yep. Yes. If you're using both those guys, yeah, definitely. Your goal is to basically push up with those 2, and the rest of your army needs to just be able to hang out and not do anything. So
yeah, it was. He had the Scorpec destroyers, the melee ones.
Yeah,
they're fine. They do damage, but I didn't realize how good the seismic bomb was until I reread it. It's good, obviously. I knew that part. But I didn't realize that you could bomb a unit and then seismic bomb another unit. So I was like, holy crap, it's way better than the Thunderfire, where it was just like any unit you move over, you can seismic bomb. And then you
and then drop mortals on another unit.
Yeah. So I seismic bombed the Scorpion Destroyers, and I moved my Raiders in front, so they couldn't do anything. So
the best unit in the game, you mean? One of the best, anyway.
Yeah, it was tough. So Connor, you played a game recently, right? You played a narrative game, but you also played a competitive game. So why don't you talk about the competitive game?
I think that the competitive game is honestly less. I took a lot more out of the narrative game, even for some competitive ideas.
Okay, I want to talk about that.
So the competitive game is basically my buddy plays a version of TJ's list.
Oh,
instead of Aiden TJ.
Yes, I do.
He runs like it's like 2 Leviathan Dreadnoughts, Horror Bomb, bunch of Psychers, like in that vein. And I just really struggle to hold objectives against it most of the time, so I end up losing around turn 3. I haven't quite worked out a way to get around that yet. So I mean, that's basically what that game amounted to. But the narrative game was cool because I got to. But it's on my buddy's YouTube channel. Those Once Loyal. If anybody's interested in watching it, it's called the YouTube channel. It's called Those Once Loyal.
Okay. Sounds very chaos. I don't know.
It's like he's into hardcore music, and it's like there was a hardcore band that was into Warhammer. It's like too much of a tangent to get into, but his channel is great. Go check it out. Our game was a ton of fun. We played like the open war cards. I ran the Avatar of Cain and like Guardians and all this fully painted Exodite stuff that I had lying around. And he played.
Oh, that's awesome.
And we just had like a 5-turn, and there was no objectives. So it was just about killing, which was like the most fun I think I've had playing Warhammer in months.
Wow, I thought our game was fun.
Well, except for TJ's game, obviously.
Yeah,
it's too late. You can't go back.
TJ's games are always like when in the those old shows where they talk about the really like gruff father who has no emotion, and he just says this is like a character building exercise. That's basically what the games versus TJ are.
Yeah, our winning son
Norman from That 70s Show.
Yeah, right. Yeah, okay, there you go. Yeah. So open war is pretty fun. Like me and Jeff used to play that, where we just like take match play rules, add Maelstrom objectives, and then we also add open war. And
it's just cool.
You never knew anything that was going on ever. Nothing mattered. Everything was random every turn. It's fun. I mean, obviously it's not the most tactical, but it's a different way to play.
Well, in terms of like competitive stuff I took away from it and like ideas I found interesting was like I ran super minimized units of Shining Spears and Skyweavers. So I ran like 3 units of 3 Spears and 3 units of 3 Skywavers. Wow. Okay. Well, honestly, like the units of 5 I find I like them, but I always feel bad sending them to do stuff because they are like not cheap and they kill stuff, but it just never feels good. But like the 3-mans, people like don't devote enough firepower to them. They can still kill stuff. And it's the same with
Skywavers. You can kill little units.
Because I just find like Skyweavers to be wildly inconsistent in like a 4 or 5-man, but in a 2-man they're just like annoying enough. I don't know. It's like a harassment thing. I like. I don't know if it's
using
like
2-mans. I mean, in 8th edition, 2-mans were popular because of the whole detachments, but in 9th, I don't know.
Well, it's good for recon, good for tying stuff up, good for maybe like snatching objectives. Sure. If you have like some shooting to help clear the objective off. Again, I don't know how like viable it is competitively, but I've been building a lot of different I guess like my final thing about the narrative game was it like got me to try a bunch of different unit sizes and army compositions that I wouldn't have thought of otherwise, and it kind of like
it's more
just made me think more creatively about list building, which I think is really cool.
So what we're going to do now, guys, is I have 6 tournaments we're going to briefly go over real quick that happened during the weekend. Like I said, there's a lot more events that happened. There were on BCP, there's a lot of events that have like no people, so we're not going to go over those, obviously. Just the ones that had over 12 people generally. There weren't really any. There's like 1 GT, maybe. That's about it, at least within 2,000 miles of Pittsburgh. I know there might be more in the other half of the country. But so First event, that was the largest. I think it was about 26 people, maybe 28 people. It was the Winter Barnyard Brawl.
I was going to go to that.
Yeah, where I think it was in the Midwest, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then I realized it was like a 10-hour drive.
Yeah. That's why I'm looking at it. I was sort of surprised. The weird part about this is it was a relatively small event, but 5 rounds. So I'm like, are these people playing like one verse? You're going to run into situations where you play the same people, so you have to really pare down a lot.
Well, I thought that they were trying to go for a GT and they just didn't hit the numbers.
Yeah.
I don't remember the exact size of the event, but I thought that they had a good size for that.
It was BCP only showed 14 people.
Oh
Right, but I'm saying like capacity.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I mean it's interesting. So the first place went to TJ's favorite, Chaos Demons.
That's what's up.
Tim Travers he was the only undefeated out of 14 people, which makes sense with 5 rounds. Pretty decisive victories there. We had second place with 4 wins, Eddie Krapf playing Mechanicus.
Yeah.
And Custodes with 3 wins. That's weird having 5-4-3 with that many with that few people.
What was the demon list like?
So the demon list and Custodes players was Josh Martin.
Okay.
So the demon list it was Corn.
Oh, right. I remember seeing this. Yeah, it was mono Corn.
2 demons,
but it had Nurglings in it.
A bunch of Bloodletters. Your favorite Blood Crushers, but only 3.
Yeah, 2. Only like a 3-man.
Yeah.
It was a weird list.
Yeah, Nurglings, you're right. So non-mono Corn, so they lose their like +1 strength or something, or reroll charges.
Lose reroll charges.
That's pretty tough, though. I don't know if that's worth 1 unit of Nurglings.
Yeah, I'm not. The list is very strange. Honestly,
Angrath was here.
Yeah, Angrath was there. I would be interested to see how many times he went first.
Mm-hmm.
And then secondly, how many units were in reserve, because obviously the princes, the thirsters were all in reserve. So
yeah, that's a lot of CP.
That's the problem with demons right now, is that all the things you want to do, they require heavy CP. So I mean,
yeah,
if Angrath goes in reserve and 2 thirsters, and he makes those guys exalted,
yeah,
that's 9 CP before the game begins.
They definitely were both exalted, I see here.
Yep. Oh, there's 2 of them. So it's 9 CP before the game begins.
Yeah. I'm surprised that
you're also basically forcing the rest of your list on the table, because that's 3 units right there. So I mean, the Bloodletters, if the Bloodletters went reserve, that's another 2 CP. He basically starts the game with 1 CP.
Now it's even more than that. He wasn't taking a mixed detachment. He was taking a second detachment basically just for the Nurglings. So 3.
Is that a patrol?
Yeah.
So that's another 3 CP. So he literally started the game with 0 CP.
Yeah, I don't know how Corn does that when you need some CP for, you started with really low in the fun game.
I start with 0 with my Corn list, but it's mono Corn firstly, and it's also 3 thirsters, and it's 60 Bloodletters. They all deep strike. So that is the majority of my army deep striking, which creates some good synergy with my list, because on turn 2, basically you're getting 3 thirsters in the face and 60 letters, and they're all fearless. So like, that synergizes a lot better than like, hey, I have these 3 models, I better make some charges here or I probably lose the game.
Yeah, most of his wins were 90s, 100s, and 80s. So that's
yeah.
I assume he got off all the charges. That's what it seems like. So that's good though. I mean, good for him. It's still won 5 games in a row.
Yeah, I mean, nothing to discount his wins or anything like that. I would just be interested to see how many times he went first.
Yeah, it's definitely a go big or go home aggressive list, which can definitely.
Oh yeah.
So then we had the Mechanicus player playing Mars. So pretty standard stuff. Call, some Vanguard.
Call.
Priest.
You don't say.
Raiders, Disintegrators, a drill for the Priest, I'm assuming, and some Onagers. Those little blasts for the past. The Onagers. But yeah, not much to say there. It's It's Admech. It's nothing we haven't seen before. It's good though. I mean, he took second, got four wins. I mean, that cornerless, if it gets off the charges, they can really mess him up.
Yeah, I mean, if he starts his entire armor off the table and then makes 3 charges, that could be a really bad time for somebody.
Sorry, guys, I can't respond on Facebook and chat, so because Facebook doesn't allow that. But so that's the Barnyard Brawl. We got, let's see, got some other events here going on. We had, let's see, we had another event called, this was the GT, the Hammerfall Winter Warrior GT.
Yep.
Unfortunately, we're not going to talk about the lists because they didn't list them. But, but this was like
factions.
Yeah, so I have the factions. So this will be, I believe this was 28 people. So it was a legitimate GT.
Okay.
Around there. It was a GT above that. So first place by everyone's favorite Cult Mechanicus, getting 192 to 90. I imagine the lists are going to be pretty similar considering they don't have many units.
Yep.
So,
and that's the issue when you say you say legitimate GTs. That's happened to me before, where I've driven down for a GT. We get there and there's only 26 players, and I'm like, okay, 26 players on the docket. And then someone drops like before the game or doesn't show up, and I'm like, oh.
We had that in Cleveland once, right? Pretty sure.
We had that in Cleveland once. I've had that in Mythicos.
Oh no, you weren't there at that Cleveland bank. You were there. We went there.
But yeah, I mean, it's rough, man. It hurts when it happens.
Thanks for watching, guys. Everyone watching I have Facebook, Twitch, and YouTube right now. People commenting. That's cool. Second place was a Black Templars player. Both
nice.
Mechanicum. All top 3 went undefeated. I guess that's possible in a 3-round, 20, 30-person event. No list, unfortunately. Ross Anderson took the Black Templars. Ryan Miller took the winning Mechanicum list. And in third place was Nurgle, which all
right,
Kevin Leonard. So
I don't know that list, but I would assume if I had to take a wild step in the dark, it's probably Nurglings, Beast of Nurgle, and a Great Unclean One.
Yeah, probably something like that. Maybe some Death Guard, because it didn't say Nurgle Demons. So.
Was this in the Midwest? Do you know where it was?
I think so.
I think I know Kevin. I think he's in one of my chats. He's been playing Nurgle like a very long time.
Well, might be him then. Congratulations to him then, taking third. So we have the War Room 2,000 point RTT. This was, I believe, 18 people. First place went to Chaos, which was just generic, with Josh Wilson. Second place was John Kineas with Dark Angels. And third place went to Andy Patton with Space Wolves. Let's take a look at the Chaos. I believe the Chaos is a little bit weird here. So the Chaos, Chaos took Thousand Suns. So we got Aramon, Sorcerer, some Cultists. That was a patrol of Thousand Suns. That's it. Then he took a patrol of Emperor's Children. So Demon Prince, Dark Apostle, Noise Marines, Terminators. Then he took some Demons. That's where the Chaos comes in with your Lord of Change guy and some Nurglings and some Flame.
I never run that guy.
Yeah, right. So all in all, not units we haven't seen before, combined in a winning combination, obviously. Then we had the Dark Angels player. Yeah, this looks like a very we've got some Deathwing command squad. Got Blade Guard veterans, captain, lieutenants, Deathwing ancient, and then a bunch of Terminators. Deathwing Terminators. No knights, actually. Just a bunch of actual real Terminators with guns. Oh, no, he has 5 knights.
Okay, I was going to say, interesting.
Yeah. So, and a few bikes, some Ravenwing guys. Nothing crazy for Marines. But, and we had another event. Like I said, there's 6 events we're going on. This is event number 4. This was another RTT. I don't know what it stands for. FSGC. Their December RTT. This was 14 people, it looks like. We had Imperial Knights coming in first, undefeated. Which is weird because I don't see a lot of Marine players, actually. Maybe that's why. Not a lot of Eradicators. So Knights, pretty basic Knights, Moriaxes, so the Forge Roll units. Orcs coming in second from Dan Salmons with Orcs, undefeated as well. Third place rounded out, Chaos Space Marines with Jason Bureau.
Dan Salmons was down there?
Yeah, with Orcs. Yep.
That's number one ITC player right now.
He's the number one total?
Yeah.
Okay. Oh,
With the works. That's crazy.
pretty good. We had the Strike Force Games RTT. This is about 12 people. Number one went to Necrons. This had the Silent King in it with some warriors and a bunch of scarabs and spiders. So I've seen a lot of spiders being used. I'm guessing they're just very resilient.
I guess he was just trying to farm.
Yeah, you're spitting out stuff.
Yep.
He had Zinj Demons coming in second with a tie, 2.5 wins.
Ooh.
And then third place was Dark Eldar. Well, Drukari, sorry.
All right.
A lot of those Forge World Reapers that Scary talked about the other week or last week. And just a lot of Raiders and Venoms and stuff like that. The few good units that they have right now. And Incubi. But he had 2 ties and a win. That's weird. It's funny how if you get 2 ties, it counts as 1 win. So he's showing us 2 wins. It's not really the same thing. Last event we're going to talk about real quick. We had a Gift of Daka RTT. This was a total of 17 people. The last event was 18 people, by the way.
Okay.
And so they're 2 fairly decent events in size. So that one, the winning list was, I keep blowing this wrong page. All right. So we had first place going to Custodes.
Delicious golden boys.
The interesting part of this list was he had 3 Telemon Dreadnoughts.
Oh, okay.
He was just spamming the big guns and hard to kill Dreadnoughts. I'm guessing they're a lot better in 9th because they're -1 damage.
Yeah, I played against 2 over the at the GT I won. He basically had 2 of the Akawans, I think. Those are the spear ones, right?
No, but those are the Contemptor ones. The Telemons are like the Leviathans.
Right, yeah. They have the invul built in and 2-up armor and all that fun jazz. Yeah,
they're pretty tough. But they dropped in cost by like 50 or 60 points, so that's probably why they're more used. Death Guard came in second.
Yeah.
No list though, but it's Death Guard. I'm sure it's stuff we've seen before. Third place went to Necrons. Michael Agner. And second place with Death Guard was Justin Adams. And Custodes, winning it, was Sean Joint. So congratulations to everyone who won these events. That's all the events we have to go through right now. So let's so TJ, over the weekend, you played 2 different mixed chaos lists. Why don't you I know people who are in Art of War have seen them and talked and heard about them, but why don't you go over the lists that you're using?
So the my baby is my 1,000 Sun list.
Shocking.
It's got Magnus, then a patrol for Armin and a Demon Prince, with the Helm of the Third Eye, and a unit of cultists. They're Cult of Mutation, and then we've got a Demon Battalion, Batallones, with a Lord of Change, with the Impossible Robe, random exalted gifts, -1 damage warlord trait, and then you've got 5 units of 4-man Nurglings, and last but not least, you got a nice juicy block of 30 pink horrors with a banner and some splitting points.
It's more like 36 horrors.
Yeah, that's about accurate.
Yeah. I don't think has your Lord Change died yet?
No.
I mean, no.
No.
That's what I thought. I mean, he did pretty
well.
He
got down to 1 wound on Mateo's game. He just shot everything at him at the GT. Wound? It was pretty funny.
Yeah. Yeah. So I know you like that list more. What do you like about that list so much?
It's just versatility. It's just better. It deals with the matchups better. It has different options based on what my opponent's using to fight. Movement shenanigans. It just has tricks on tricks. The splitting has its own different element to damage mitigation as well as board control. Nurglings have their own board control. It's such a awesome list.
Yeah, adding all those tricks to your matchups really makes a big difference because your opponent can never really, they never really know what exactly to expect. Whereas like your other list that you can talk about is way more straightforward. And I know a lot of people have been talking about not necessarily your list because you haven't really played it that much, but the list in
Correct.
general. So why don't you talk about this?
Oh,
The
let's just keep.
keeper list.
We got keeper. We got a keeper spam list.
Mhm.
So Demon Battalion, 30 Demonettes, 10, 10, 10. 3 keepers, random rolling for exalted traits. Then we've got another detachment, which is Emperor's Children. Runs now it's running Lucius
Mm.
and a sorcerer,
That's
and
it.
then 10 Terminators, combi
Right.
bolters with axes, and then 10 cultists. And then lastly, we have another demon detachment,
Oh
which
wow.
runs 15 Nurglings and a Lord of Change,
Mm-hmm.
which is the Warlord. So the Impossible Robe and -1 damage and 2 random exalted traits. So that is for everybody paying attention.
A lot of random traits.
64 T7 at least 3 up to 4 up invul models that all have an feel no pain of some kind, and are very fast. Cast 2 powers each.
We were reading that too. We had to read it a few times to see that the keepers had the same psychic ability as the Lord of Change.
Yeah.
Which feels so odd. Like the Lord
Yeah, it's weird.
powers, but it doesn't really matter.
Yeah, I mean, the bird knows an additional power, but he can't cast it unless I spend CP on it. His real thing that makes him different than the keepers is that he gets +2 to cast all the time.
Yeah,
that's his deal. But so I made some changes after the first list. Basically, the first list had a Demon Prince in instead. That's literally the only change. I took a Demon Prince instead of taking Lucius and the Sorcerer. The issue with the Demon Prince is you can't keep up. So you want them for the reroll 1s to hit. For the keepers because he affects demons, but then you're like, he'll never be near them because they're just so fast. I mean, it's 12 inches plus a d6, and then they can still charge in the same turn. And then if you get, which I did twice, if you get the +2 movement, they're basically 15 inches, then a d6, and then they can still charge.
Yeah, I don't think any game I saw him ever near those keepers.
Yeah, they just don't keep up at all. So this allows me for a little more mobility, an extra spell, which is nice because now you can get prescience and delightful agonies instead of just delightful agonies.
Right.
And Lucius is the same price as a normal Lord, so it's literally you just get a little better of a character.
Yeah, he's not that special, but he's just
he's got a 2 damage sword, which is nice, flat 2, -3. He gets additional attacks when he fights characters, and other than that, he's just a normal character.
Yeah, Kevin on YouTube just mentioned that COVID's pretty much ruining the GT scene where he is. I'm like, yeah, it pretty much is. Right now, almost all the events that I went over right now were all RTTs of 18 or less. There was only one GT, and I mean that's going to be pretty dependent on the desire for the TOs to take the risks. So
yeah,
I mean, you can, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to badmouth anyone. It's your choice. But as a TO myself, 40K generally isn't worth it. I mean, it sucks.
The other issue, not only that, but the other issue you're going to find is like, what happens if you post an event and then, the week before or the day before or they just go, okay, we're going to cancel this. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh, I now have to tell all these people that we can't do it. So, I mean, like we here in Pennsylvania, we might have another lockdown coming very, very soon. If we get that lockdown, they're going to cancel events. I don't care what your safety protocols are. Right. It's just not going to be enough to placate anybody.
That's
from
nice
the government.
Smaller events then too. Is if you're running like a 15-person event, cancel it, whatever. But if you had to reserve space and do a GT, and all of a sudden you're done, that could suck. So Matei has a question for you. Why not a jump lord? for the jump pack, so you can go with the Terminators. And
the Terminator's deep strike, and like Lucius can still run, and like I don't know, he never gets in combat. It's just spending extra points for a jump back that I'm just probably not going to use.
And you're not really putting the Terminators far away from the rest of your forces.
No, they're usually there to bolster an objective or clear something off a table, or maybe get the midfield back again because the keepers are off doing keeper stuff. Yeah. Like I never feel like they, you know, and even if they were in the backfield, just for the record, that Lord would never be able to get there quick enough anyway. And I'm not spending a CP to deep strike him in. So like, if I had to clear a backfield with a character, with the Terminators. Doesn't matter if that guy has a jump pack or not. He's not getting there in one turn. So that means he would have to be set up in the middle of the board just to do what he wants to do, which is terrifying. You just lose a character for no reason.
Yeah, I mean, Lucius is fine. Like I said, he does decent damage now with his I mean, the main thing is Lucius was terrible before, but now he has a master-crafted power sword. So that got boosted to 2 damage.
Not only that, he does have a built-in invul. He's got a 5-up invul.
Right.
So, I mean, like, 5-up invul is better than your jump lord that doesn't have an invul.
Yeah, just a clarification. Yeah, you don't have to pay CP for the deep strike with the lord, but other than that, it's still the same.
Oh, right. I'm sorry. Yes. I mean, yeah, but you're just re-rolling ones. I mean, like, that's not super... I'd much rather deep strike in the sorcerer than deep strike in the lord.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Get prescience or whatever, or the 5-up.
Yeah, get prescience or get your delightful agonies off, but I mean, like, it's okay. So it's an 18-inch range.
How many CP do you come into games with that list usually, TJ?
Yeah.
3. So you don't.
It's not a lot.
So how do you get around? Does that pose? It sounds like it doesn't cause too much of a problem, but like, how do you? Do you just not value CP in that build?
Yes, I don't value CP. Period.
Nice. Period. In general.
Yes, in general. I build lists that don't require CP because I don't want to have to be in the end of the game and realize that I've needed CP for some crucial strat and then not be able to use it. So instead, I just build lists that don't require it, which just basically means that I build units that can operate on their own with almost no actual CP usage. Like if you look at the keeper list, 3 keepers require absolutely no CP, except for maybe re-rolling a save every once in a while, or maybe a warp surge on like a crucial turn. Other than that, they don't really need CP for anything. The Terminators need 1 CP the turn they come in. If you want to fire twice, they can do that too. But generally just the 1 CP. Mm-hmm. And then the rest of the list doesn't really need CP either. The same with the Magnus list. Magnus doesn't really use CP. That list starts with 5. Doesn't really use it. I have a CP regen built in. And then the Lord of Change doesn't need CP either. And the pink horrors don't really need CP except for maybe the 1 turn where you're going to auto pass morale, which that's 1 time you're going to need to do that. So I mean, like, I just build lists that don't require it because I don't want to have to worry about it.
Yeah, I know your opinion on what do you think of armies that start with 10 and use like 9 on turn 1?
I just don't see the real power with that. I mean, like
that was the problem with the old orcs.
Yeah, I mean I mean, how'd that go? I mean, like, you know, it's very much like, I'm not trying to be critical of anybody who starts with that many CPs, but like, people try to explain to me these combos, and they're like, yeah, that requires 8 CP. I'm like, wow, that's insane. What happens if it doesn't do what it's supposed to do? I mean, for 8 CPs, I better be like annihilating my opponent's army. I better kill like 800 points of that. It may be like 100 points per CP is what that should be. I should basically take out an 800 point unit and then still have my unit intact. So,
yeah, it's like the standard Emperor's Children armies. Is that I like Emperor's Children, but man, they run out of gas so quick.
Yeah, so I took the bare minimum. I wanted to take Noise Marines, but now you need to spend a CP to take them off the table. So now they're off the table. Then when they come in, they want to shoot twice. So that's 2 CP. Then you want to do the 2 damage ones. That's 3 CP. Then I want to, now that's 4 CP. Then you want to vet them. That's 5 CP. It's a 5 CP unit.
Yeah.
And then they probably die.
Well, so
they definitely die. Your opponent can't let that happen twice.
No, they definitely die. I mean, the problem I find with Noise Marines is all that's really cool. They're like strength 5, +1 to wound, 2 damage, AP 0. So you can end up in situations where you just don't do any damage, and it's really annoying for that amount of CP.
Or your opponent knows it's coming, and you screen out, and then he kills one unit, and then they get murdered because they're one wound models, and then they just get killed by like infiltrators or a unit of assault intercessors. Like, they're just a very rough unit to use right now. Now, when they go up to 2 wounds, different story. But at a 1 wound models, it's just really rough for me to like shed some good light on them, especially with the, like we talk about CP usage. Like, you're not taking a mono Emperor's Children. So that detachment basically at just a patrol level and for that one trick to work is 7 CP.
Yeah.
That means the rest of your army is 5 CP, which means if you take an extra Warlord trait and or Relic, you're now at 4 or even 3 CP before the game begins.
Yeah,
so now you're back where I'm at to use that trick one time. The rest of your army better be tight as nails, not need CP at all for anything.
And it's probably not going to be that. So
correct. Because
it's tough. So do you think...
Well, because the Noise Marine side you have is not shoring up a lot of weaknesses. It's basically just handling your chaff. So now you still don't have anti-tank. That probably needs CP. You don't have anti-infantry. You don't have anti-melee units. You don't really have any psychers in that. So...
I do want to thank Matej for the whiskey that he brought over this weekend. Thank you.
Yeah, Maker's Mark, man.
I know, man. So that's my problem. They're not resilient. The shooting really is mid-range, mid-damage. So against anything heavy, it's tough. It's tough to kill vehicles with it. That's what I run into specifically. So do you think demons are going to get back just the ability to deep strike? I mean, they have to. They can't do this whole 2 CP crap.
What it should be core units automatically get to deep strike for free. Any of your core units. So and then they can set it however they want. So core units could be obviously the troops, but it could also easily be like blood crushers. Like all of every unique unit for every god would have their core units. So for Khorne it would be crushers, which would make them instantly more playable, because sending 3 CP to make crushers go in reserve, it just hurts my soul, especially how many points they are. So it would be crushers, seekers,
fiends,
flamers. Flamers are great in reserve as well. Not having to spend 2 CP to put a unit in reserve to fire once and then die is definitely something I need changed. I just think they need to fundamentally change the way that demons are played currently, and the army is built.
Oh yeah, definitely. I mean, we talked about this before. How the problem with demons is it's not one codex; it's like 4 codexes that each have 1 option per slot.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can kind of tell the Games Workshop is trying to go in this. I want everyone to not play with allies, even though we talked up allies for all of 7th edition and 8th edition, and now they're like, I don't think we should play allies anymore. And I'm like, well, firstly, we're too late, and then secondly, the armies that you have released in the way that you've released them, need allies. GSC cannot play without Tyranids. Maybe before, when they first came out and they didn't have any of their nerfs or anything like that, you could play mono GSC, and it was, for the most part, just a whole bunch of, it was basically guard with tricks. But now you've got Yunari's got the same problem now. You can't even run Yunari by itself.
Yeah, it's awful.
You've got Admech. Admech previously needs some help. Obviously, right now they're very strong, but like up until they got their engine war built.
I mean, Admech got another codex over the past year and a half.
Right. So I mean, but a lot of armies still need help. Chaos Space Marines is definitely one of them, unless they're going to add a whole bunch of kits. And even if they do add a whole bunch of kits, the Death Guard book is out. Right? It's released. It's not released, but it is released for them, meaning there is no more work to be done on it. Means it is a finished product. That's what I meant.
Oh, yeah. Death Guard are not getting any crazy new units. I mean,
right. So they're not getting any new units except for 1 new character, which doesn't flesh out the character line or the line of models that you can field, and 1 new terrain piece, which also doesn't help us as well. So when you look at that army, you have maybe 15 entries. 15 entries where, let's just say 7 of them are actually playable, and 6 of them are, 7 are actually playable, 8 of them are not. That hurts. No one's really playing Land Raiders. You would need to do some heavy changes on them to make Land Raiders playable. You know, no one's really running cultists
Ever
anymore.
play Land Raiders? I mean,
I'm just saying, but these are some units, right? Like no one's really playing, you know, lords unless they have to. You know, no one's really playing you know, your sorcerers, or they're playing a malignant playcaster, usually one or the other. I mean, it's not really
my
like
shelf
a
right now. No one's playing my shelf. That's what's not being played. Whatever's on my shelf for chaos is what's not being played.
So it's definitely a rough spot, and like chaos in the lore plays allies. Like they use allies. You know, like chaos are always trying to summon things and crack the warp open and you know, like do stuff. That's how it works. I mean, so like for them to just go and say like, we don't want you guys to use allies anymore because we didn't make the game fluid enough for other armies to not need allies, it's just bad. So hopefully they don't do that. This new Death Guard book is going to explain a lot, because we're going to see a lot about what is core, what the strats look like, are the spells going to be able to transfer over to the other book, what are the combos look like, can we use those combos as well? This is the kind of stuff I need to see when the new book comes out. So obviously they unveiled some stuff earlier in the week, they unveiled some more stuff today, they'll unveil tomorrow. They got the big reveal tomorrow. I don't know why they're drawing this out so much, but I guess when your book isn't getting released till January, you just do what you got to do.
I have a theory on that. So my theory, may not be popular, it's fine. I'm not a fanboy here. Is my theory is COVID has impacted production so much, as we know it has, that they are moving to, instead of a 2 or 3 codex cycle per month, they're slowing it down to like 1 to 2 codex per month. And all they did was shift Death Guard to another month to give them a more steady stream of releases, but with less codexes per month, which, I mean, I get it from a business perspective, but that's going to suck. I mean, that could mean a year and a half. Before we get our codexes.
You mean like 2.5 years. I mean, we have 18 different factions. We've released 5.
It's a supplement.
This would be the 6th book.
Because you know that Drukhari is going to get pushed back too. Because Drukhari was supposed to come out in like January, but now like Death Guard's coming out in January.
So and you also have Dark Angels in January. So who's getting their book?
Yeah.
And then, by the way, Tyranids are also in there too, because they were the picture that was unveiled. So now we've got Tyranids, Drukhari, Dark Angels, and Death Guard, all in the same month. That's 4 codexes in 1 month? I don't think so, boys and girls.
Sigmar's December. And you got Sigmar.
Yep, and you still have Sigmar, which will probably take, you know, they take at least a week out of the year to do whatever they're doing.
They're every 3rd month about. So, yeah, it's going to be slow. I mean, the space.
You're going to get your random like Warcry stuff, your random kill team stuff. It's going to take up time.
Well, Sigmar's got a brand new faction. They have all the Slanesh guys coming out.
The Hedonites.
Yeah, the Hedonites. I mean, they're literally right around the corner. They'll be out in January. So January is going to be a super packed month for Games Workshop. I honestly think that we'll get 1 book. I think we're just going to get Death Guard. And the only reason we're going to get Death Guard is 1, they pushed it back, and 2, it's already here. It's just stuck at customs. Maybe not this customs. Yeah. But it's already on the way.
Right, because I know GW said like the books weren't produced. That I don't buy that, because the books would have been produced a while ago.
Yeah, the books should have been. It takes 6 weeks to ship overseas with those shipping containers, 4 to 6 weeks. So those books were done already. Those books were done before they did the pushback. And customs takes at least 2 weeks to do, and you want a week to unload all the trucks and make sure that everything's there and goes to the right sellers. So this is like a 2-month process. So don't tell me that the books aren't done. The books are definitely done. Just tell me the truth. Tell me they're fucking stuck at customs. That's fine.
Tell you the truth only. They should just.
I'm Nurgle.
Call you.
I am a chaos. I'm but a lonely chaos lord.
Well, another little random tidbit that people may not know, but GW's book publisher is going out of business apparently, so that could impact stuff. Westvale, the name, they went into administration.
Yeah. Hopefully for the better, because let's face it, guys, you know their publishers are not really the best. You know, when you release a book and it needs an FAQ the week after it comes out, I mean,
well, that's not the publisher, that's the writer.
I mean, okay, but at some point the publisher has to say, okay, guys, this is the 10th book you guys are, or the 11th or the 12th or whatever it is. Every time you guys release a book, you guys need to, something's wrong. There's some wording incorrect. Like, you guys sure you want to release this? You know, like, are you guys sure it doesn't need another person to look at it? Are you sure we don't get another writer, or we need another publishing, we need another team, another editor in here to fix this? Right. Like, well, if Harry Potter's books, if J.K. Rowling came out, every time J.K. Rowling came out with a new book, it had an entire section that was just a whole bunch of messed up words and just phrases that didn't make any sense. And she's like, no, it's good. We looked at it. No, it's fine.
GW announced this week that they are redoing novels that they already wrote. The
Games Workshop
novels from 8th edition.
Yeah, I saw that.
So now the novels are going to have FAQs of them. By the way, I have an original edition Dark Imperium hardback novel. If anyone wants that, it's going to be a totally different story soon.
They're just going to retcon it. That's what they're going to do. I don't know if you've seen the box art already, but it's like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So anyway, moving on from our random conversation here. Hope you guys enjoyed that. You are going to, well, as of today, you are going to a GT in near Scranton? It's near Scranton Adventure Games?
Dixon City.
Okay. But it's like northeastern PA, right?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So it's pretty far up there. It's like 5 hours from me, Stone. I'm in PA. So you're going to a 40-person event, and we got a lot of good people going. So for the viewers, we have 3 of the people that have been on the show are going there. We got TJ bringing his chaos. We got Anthony, who's been on the show twice so far, bringing his Blood Angels. We got the other guys from his team. We got Joseph bringing Templars, and we got Death Guard. Brandon bringing Death Guard, and then we got Matei, who was on the show, and you played bringing his Harlequins, and then we got you. So why don't you talk about your expectation for this kind of event with 40 people? What do you? I guess what are your biggest matchup dangers? Like, who are you? What are you not looking to face?
I've been told some people are coming to this event that I should be leery of. We've got the man, the myth, the legend, champion of all that is good, captain of Team America, Sean Nayden. And Sean Nayden is a force to be reckoned with. He came in 3rd place at LVO last year. He won Renman the year before. He won Renman the year before that. I think this last year he won Best General. Yeah. So he is definitely somebody who knows his craft. So that is going to be interesting because his craft is Craft World.
Okay.
So,
well, actually, not for the current list, from what I understand. It's all.
Yeah. What is he bringing?
I don't know exactly, but I know it's somewhere in the Harlequin sort of area of things because that's what's really nasty.
He likes.
He's got Harleys. I think he has some. I think it's Harleys and Drukari. I think is what it is. But for the record, Craft World Harleys, same fucking thing.
You're crazy.
Well, one's good. Yeah, you're right. One's not. So
sure.
One of them are clowns. One of them are very dedicated workmen. It's very different.
Sure.
I want to tell that.
Sure. But so we got that match. That should be just interesting based on normally that would be a solid green for me, but obviously the master himself piloting Eldar is going to be just it just awesome to see on the table. So I'm excited to see if we have to play that. That would be something I'd definitely watch out for.
Is Austin coming too? I heard that also.
Who?
Austin?
Yep.
Yeah.
I'm going to get to that.
Is that
but
Austin, Wingfield?
Austin Wingfield and Juice, apparently. Steven Ford are both coming down.
Going, actually.
Steven's running Admech. I'm sorry, what'd you say?
Aren't they in Carolina?
I think Juice is not actually coming. From what I last heard, he's not coming.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, no.
Well, if Juice was coming, Juice is playing Admech. Juice is that's a very tough match for me. That is the ultimate coin toss of coin tosses. Basically, you fire all your chicken. You just fire your chicken walkers into Magnus. If he lives, you lose. If he doesn't, then I probably lose.
Yeah, because I mean, 5 chicken walkers firing 20 shots at you, +1 to wound, doing mortals on 5s. Yeah, it's pretty bad.
He fires las cannons, so it's 8 las cannon shots to hit on 2s, reroll 1s, wound you on 2s, reroll 1s.
Yeah. A lot of wounds.
And extra hits on 6s, extra wounds on 6s. So I mean, maybe he doesn't reroll 1s to wound, but I'm sure if he rolled a 1, he'd probably just pick it up and reroll it because, no reason not to.
Yeah, you don't get reroll 1s, but you get the +1 to wound. So
I mean, you're winning on 2s. I mean, it should be somewhere in the ballpark of 10 las cannons to the face. Magnus should pass 7 of them, fail 3. Maybe I get lucky. I reroll 1 of those. I pass it, so I only take 2d6. If I only take 2d6 damage and the damage is pretty low, you're in for a world of hurt the next turn. I'll pick those things up in melee.
Oh, definitely. They die to everything.
So
I know you've had some good runs against Harlequins. What can Army like if Nayden brings Dark out Drukhari and Harlequins? What are you worried about in that kind of list? Like, what kind of tricks?
Lots of troops, lots of objective holding nonsense, like big units of witches or things like that basically just stream onto the objectives and try to hold them from me.
Yeah.
Lots of outflanking units that are just dumb and annoying that I have to basically screen out for.
Yeah.
I mean, that's unfortunately what Dark Eldar have at this point that actually works for them. You know, units that can outflank, big units that come in from reserve to try to do, charge shenanigans. Recycling racks are pretty good too. But I mean, that's kind of the tricks there. You kind of just try to push and hold these objectives for as long as possible. So he'll play the denial game, scoring secondaries that don't require interactions with me, such as raise the banner, domination, or scramblers. And my goal would just be to kill as many units as quickly as possible.
Yeah, do your tricks. Man, use your mortal wounds to your advantage. I mean, Dark Eldar really can't deal with mortal wounds.
Depending on what the list is, if it's the list I saw a couple weeks ago, Magnus just goes places by himself because nothing kills Magnus in that list.
No, they don't really have a lot. I mean,
I think he has 2 Ravengers and 3 Raiders.
Okay.
So the Raiders have a Dark Lance apiece, unless he took Disintegrators. If he has Disintegrators, that's 15 plus 18, so 33 shots.
Yeah, if they're a coven, they're +1 damage. They can be. So,
yeah.
I don't know if he takes him as coven though. But
that means you win on 4s instead of 5s, which is pretty good. But you're -1 to hit. You don't really have a really good way to reroll all those. So even, the 15 plus 18, 33 shots, I mean, you're still only hitting, like 17 times. You're only wounding like 9 times.
Yeah.
I should fail 3 of those. You take 6 damage. Maybe you feel Nose Pain's one of them. He takes 5 damage.
Yeah. If you use
not
coven,
really that crazy.
He takes 9 wounds. Yeah.
Yeah, he just heals it next turn. I mean, It's not a big deal.
So you're not as much worried about like the list or the factions as you are of Nayden just like doing some crazy.
Yeah, I mean, Eldar is a green matchup generally, but Nayden is Nayden.
Mm-hmm. Well, and
Nayden's
also,
like yellow-ish matchup.
And he wouldn't go to a GT with just going like, "Yep, this list is pretty trashy. I guess I'll just take it and see what I do." No, he's definitely has a lot of reps with the list, understands how the list works, and he definitely is going to be someone I'm going to need to watch out for.
Is it? I guess there'll be multiple undefeated though.
There should be 3.
Yeah.
If the guy paired down, so it should go 40 to 20, 40 to 20, 20 to 10, 10 to 5, 5 to 3, 3 to 2. There should be 2 undefeateds at the end.
Right.
If the guy who gets paired down doesn't lose. That's another deal. He might lose his game, then there's only one undefeated. That's what happened last time.
Okay.
At the last tournament I went to. I was undefeated. The guy who got paired down lost his finals.
Okay. So that's, I mean, especially in a tournament, I don't know if it's based on battle points, but a lot of the 5 rounds are based on wins.
Should be win-loss first, then battle points second.
Yeah. So if the guy that gets paired down loses, you're looking pretty good. There's not going to be a whole lot of tiebreakers. I mean, and also that kind of with multiple undefeateds, you guys might not face. Who knows?
That is 100% accurate. So I mean, that's definitely a match. And the other matches would be like obviously some Space Wolf lists. Obviously, Space Wolves just came out, so that would be definitely lack of experience. They have some good strats that mess with Thousand Suns. I have some good strats that mess with Space Wolves as well. So it'd be interesting to see interactions and things like that. Necrons I've only played once. Should be a green matchup. But again, you just don't know, you know?
Right. I mean, Space Wolves are definitely solid. I mean, we didn't get to, I mean, I guess your game versus Space Wolves was a little lopsided. I felt like it should have been a little more, I feel like you should have taken, I mean, he did do a lot of damage to you once he got the return strikes. By that point, it was pretty tough.
Well, I didn't, that was the keeper list.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, the other list is much, much better.
Yeah. Can Space, like, what can Space Wolves do against that kind of like your normal list?
Push hard, deny powers,
just come at
try
you.
to hold, just come at me, try to hold the objectives, try to kill all my infantry quickly. You know, basically the same thing every other list does, but I haven't played against them enough to understand how effective they are at that ability. So that's one I'm definitely interested to see. And any Admech.
Yeah.
Any Admech. Admech can be very tough for me.
I mean,
it's just, I feel like they really messed up with Admech. I feel like their points increases were just not on par because of the abilities they gave him. Having a Warlord trait where it literally gives you extra shots.
Extra hits. So good.
Extra hits on 6s, and then you have another ability that gives you extra wounds on 6s is just sounds dumb in theory. It's kind of like that where we talked about like in when 9th edition was coming out, like, yeah, we're going to get rid of a lot of the feel bad moments. That feels bad. Starting with six las cannons and getting all the way up to 10 wounds doesn't even, like, you're just sitting there like, wait, what?
Yeah. That's what I did in my game last night, where I think I rolled. I think I fired like 5 shots with a missile launcher and rolled like 3 6s. So I hit like 8 times.
Yeah, even your standard rolling. Yeah. Basically like 6 shots, you roll 1-1, you re-roll it. Let's just say you don't get an extra 6. You still have 1 6 in the pile, which now you have 7 hits. And then you go into wound. You're at least rolling 1 6. And let's say you re-roll the 1 this time and it rolls into another 6. So you went from 7 all the way now up to, 9 wounds.
Yeah.
What? You had 6 to start with. Yeah, I know. But now I have 9. Yeah, great. Cool. I mean, I guess. And they're las cannons. Like if they were like sluggers or, their short range fire or, their strength 5, that wouldn't be an issue. But like we're talking about auto cannons, las cannons, like that's not fun for anybody.
It's tough. I mean, I like playing Admech, of course, but it is those Holy Order Warlord traits are super good, especially with Call, of course, fishing for 6s. I mean,
fishing for them 6s.
Admech will get another book eventually, but I don't know if they're in. I don't know if there's a big priority for them considering how much they already got.
They have a book coming out next. What are you talking about? Their next campaign book.
Campaign book, sure. But I mean like a codex. I don't know.
We just don't know if the next book is going to have rules or not for competitive play.
Yeah, but
they haven't said.
Codex. I mean,
it won't be a codex, but I mean, like you saw your last time you got a book or you got any new rules. They were ridiculous.
So the one thing I circling back to the tournaments, one thing I'd noticed here, this is odd list, is the chaos list that won 18-person RTT. 3 Lord Discordants with Flawless Host.
Yeah, I saw that.
This is a flashback list, 8th edition. 2 Helldrakes, 3 Helldrakes, and then a Lord of Skulls.
Yep, he's bringing the beats, man.
All the demons.
Wow.
What do you
just grab off a shelf, man?
It's like a very unbalanced list, but
yeah,
it's almost similar to your keepers and strategy.
Yeah, you just I obviously play different than other people with their keepers, but like the general gist of the list is push hard, push fast, and your opponent doesn't have enough to clear them all. So yeah, I mean it's definitely a good list for that kind of stuff. Yeah, it'll be interesting to see what that list would do against my list.
Yeah, I mean, they do a lot of damage. Obviously, it's just straight up better against Imperium because of Death and False
definitely.
Emperor.
Flawless Host, man.
Yeah, Flawless Host is crazy because what, they're 5-ups for that?
If you take the Warlord trait, it's on 4-ups.
Yeah, but I think their basic ability is 5-ups, right? Or
yes, yeah, because it's 6-up normally, then you get +1 to hit, and then it's.
Well, in the orc list that took second place was a bunch of buggies and burner bombers and mech guns. I think we talked about this last week, but that's the list that's going around. Although I feel like I think you and Jeff and other people disagree that the boys list seems to be just better at objective.
The buggies list. The issue with the buggies list is you're going to run into even a matchup like we just talked about, triple Lord Discordiant and a Lord of Skulls and 3 Helldrakes. If I go first, that list alone could take like 7 or 8 of those vehicles off the table. I mean,
we played Admech versus those buggies, and those buggies just evaporate.
Yeah, a Lord of Skulls kills 1 with just the Gatling gun.
Yeah.
Then his chest gun kills another 1, and then he could melee 1 to kill another 1.
Yeah, he's gonna be pretty interesting. I'm excited for the upgrade to all the demon engine stuff because I have a lot of demon engines, and going up to 3+3+ for Web Scope Blitz skill that's a fairly big bump there.
I need to see what
points.
What did it cost?
Yeah, I mean, hopefully not too much. They're not really that good. So
I'm interested to see what we lost. As Thanos as Gamora would say, what did it cost? Because like, at what cost did we obtain these new rules? Did we lose special abilities? Did we lose out to make our stuff more expensive? Are they less inclusive? Or more things locked so we can't combo them with other units? We're gonna find out.
Yeah, I think that's going to be the big thing. Although, as we saw with Death Guard, they're still all Heretic Astartes.
I have seen that, yeah. So they will still get warp time, unless they change warp time.
Unless it's gone, yeah. So what do you think about, even though you only have part of the rules, what do you think about what we've seen from Mercarian so far? I mean, it's cool that he gives CP now, and he gets...
He doesn't give CP.
I thought he gave CP. Okay.
No. Nope.
What do you think about his stat increases? I know we don't know what the Warlord traits do. That could be pretty cool.
Here we go. Hot takes.
Yeah.
Not impressed.
Not impressed. Oh man, he's a Lord of the Death Guard.
So when you look at his rolls, he's still 500 points. That guy at 500 points would need to draw your opponent's army for at least 2 to 3 turns. That's the only way you get worth out of him, right? Yeah. 500 points. That's a fourth of your army. The rest of your army, basically needs to pull all the work, especially if he's just going to die, right? So that's an issue. We don't know what his Warlord traits are. So how can I be impressed when I only have, 40% of the rules?
It's a mystery. Maybe you got to be hopeful.
And
hope is a very important trait in Chaos.
Yeah. So that's an issue. And then my other issues are like, he wasn't survivable in 8th edition, and in 9th edition, things have just gotten worse. Multi-Meltas, Bolters, Eradicator profiles with 4+4, D6 +4 damage. Yeah. I mean, like...
That was pretty crazy in your game versus Space Wolves.
That was insane. That was the dumbest thing ever. So, Connor, I'm playing the Space Wolf game, and Covell shoots me at half range with a Multi-Melta. And he goes, okay, 2 saves, and I make one of them. And he rolls the damage, rolls a 1. And I'm like, okay, I take like 3 damage. He's like, you take 5 damage. I'm like, wait, what? And then he's like, you know what? I'm going to pick it up. I'm going to re-roll it. And I'm still out like, wait, what? So he re-rolls it into a 6, and he's like, all right, take 10 damage. And I'm like, no, bro, like it's just D6 +2. He's like, no, it's D6 +4.
Yeah.
And I'm like, that is the dumbest rule. What? And he's like, yeah, it's just Eradicators. It's their rifle. And I'm like,
They have heavy melter rifles.
yeah, they're heavy melter rifles. I'm like, that is the stupidest thing I've ever heard.
The heavy melter rifles are +4 damage.
They're +4 damage at half range.
And they're +2 all the time. So they're
they're +2 all the time, and then
Just imagine you are Crawford Eldar, and for millions of years you ruled the galaxy. Your aspect warriors dominated everyone. Fire dragons just turned all aliens to slag. And then in 1 year, Eradicators show up, and we're like, nah, we got these new weapons, bro. And it's like blowing up everything in one shot.
Well, Dom, you know who the Eldar never had?
Yeah.
We never had Belisarius Call. He's
True.
clearly like the most intelligent weapons manufacturer who's ever existed in the galaxy.
Call is a genius. He is.
Yeah.
I mean, he was working on Primaris for 10,000 years.
He's what's his face from Lords of War? Nicolas Cage. He's Nicolas Cage from Lords of War. He just knows how to do all the things. Knows how to break all the rules, make everything look good.
Then
get all the weapons out to everybody.
When I picked up the new Harlequin stuff and I was building my boat list, I was like, oh wait, we have fusion pistols. They get +2 damage, right?
Nope.
Like the FAQs, and it's just like, nope. But the Fire Dragon, Dragon's Breath Flamer,
Yep.
5 AP1.
Yeah.
I'm saying 12 inches.
Well, it's range 12 inches now. It's too powerful. Fire Dragon open cost.
So it's very interesting to note too, but all I'll say about your fusion pistols, if their fusion pistols were +2 damage at minimum range, like they'd be insane. You would literally just kill everything.
It'd be so good.
Yeah.
Maybe 20.
Instead, I really think fusion pistols just like suck.
There's 6 inches. Well, because that's what we're talking
about. +2 damage would be insane with them.
Well, we were talking about after the game with Mate, how the issue is they're powerful, but they limit you to basically engage at 6 inches.
Yep.
So they're good, but you lose so much mobility because you want to use them.
Yeah.
I mean, tough. But I don't know. So just wrapping this up a little bit for a few minutes here. We've been talking for a while. So if you want to see all the games that we played, guys, I talked about at the beginning, Steel City Legion YouTube channel and Twitch. By Friday, there's going to be 7 games just this week, that are going to be uploaded. We got 4 games with TJ. We got TJ versus Orcs, TJ versus Harlequins twice.
That was a bloody game. That Orc game was bloody.
Yeah. On one side. And then we have versus Space Wolves, which, the score was high, but Space Wolves, I can see how much damage they can do if they were able to really use all of their force instead of just getting charged by keepers that move 30 inches.
Yeah, 15 inches.
And then we also have the same Space Wolf list versus Nids. We have the Harlequins with Mate versus Nids, and then we also have my recent game last night of Admech versus Necrons to mix it up a bit. We're also going to have another episode of the Mission Debrief. I'm going to upload it. It was me talking to a bunch of the guys from Art of War Down Under at their recent team tournament victory at the Gladiator Gaming event. Team tournaments are pretty cool. They're very, very unique. The scoring system is vastly different. I encourage you guys to check it out. I'll probably upload it tomorrow or Friday. So
they're super cool.
Yeah, it was fun. I had to wake up at 5 a.m. in the morning to do that interview, so please watch it. It was a very tiring day, and then I went to work. And then you came over. So it was very tiring. It was a very tiring Friday. It was very long.
I let you relax, and I just slaughtered a whole bunch of orcs.
Yeah, it was good. So watch those games. There'll be a whole bunch of them. Real quick, what do you are you worried much about like Blood Angels, even with their new warlord trait of ignoring mortals on 5s?
Nah, that's fine.
But aren't they sort of similar to Space Wolves in terms of the overall strategy?
They're more melee than Space Wolves, definitely. Space Wolves also can't take apothecaries, so they don't get to bring guys back from the dead.
That's why he doesn't. People were asking that why Cavell wasn't using the apothecary because they don't have them really. They have
They don't get it. They don't get them.
They have a different version, but it's not that they can't use the chief apothecary.
Correct. Correct.
That's true.
Blood Angels, they don't get eradicators.
They do, but they won't use them. They get them, but they're not going to be anywhere near the same. Yeah, you're right. I mean,
I'm much more excited to fight Blood Angels with Sanguinary Guard and things like that.
Yeah.
Because that will be a fun battle. I'm interested to see what they do, though. I'm not saying I'm less scared of them. I just I've read up on them. I kind of know what they do. I do have even when I built the list, I have precautionary measures set in place. So like Nurglings can kind of screen all my infantry. Then the infantry screen all the characters. And we kind of just wait till you drop down on turn 2 or turn 3. And then we play the game. Yeah.
Then you just mortal wound them. That's gonna be tough. I hope to get all you guys back on because that would be interesting. And whoever, if anyone manages to beat TJ at the event, come talk to me.
I think there's a pool going.
There's a pool because people want to know.
Yeah, there's a pool.
You just gotta. I mean, yeah, I'm curious, or at least win the event. Maybe get more battle points. I don't know.
Yeah, that'd be fun too.
I mean, that's happened to you a lot in 8th, though.
It happened twice, I think, or 3 times. I don't know. I played like 15 GTs in 8th edition.
Yeah, well, in RTTs in 8th, I know you.
Oh, that definitely happened in RTTs. GTs, it didn't happen too often.
No,
maybe 2 times, but yeah. Okay. Should be an interesting weekend. Or Friday will come and they'll just, Governor Wolf will just cancel it, and then we'll just be stuck at home again. So
that'd be cool.
We'll see. You got to tune in though. I'll try to stream some games. I tried to do it the last GT, so I kind of streamed like deployment, turn 1, turn 2, Conor showing his army off.
Right.
Conor putting all of his models back in the case.
Mm-hmm. Conor, I didn't even have a case, man. I just threw him on the ground.
It's okay. You're not wrong, but
where do you stream it at? Just to your Facebook?
Art of War, definitely.
Oh, okay. I wasn't sure if you had access to stream to Art of War. Okay.
That's cool. Yep, I do. Yep. So I can post stuff on Art of War. I usually do that.
That's cool. Yeah, so tune in, guys. Like I said, the GT's this weekend. It's in northeastern PA. I don't know the name. What is the actual name of the GT?
Fight Before Christmas.
Fight Before Christmas. Are you going to that other event? Are you going to another event before Christmas also? Or is this the last one?
I think this is it.
Okay. Because I know there's always the before New Year's event that's like sold out to 32 people usually. But
yeah, right, it's been there's one on the 21st that's sold out, but I mean, I would assume that they would definitely crack down before that would happen. Because that's literally the week before Christmas, so
yeah, we'll probably have you back over here then to play some games. I guess probably after New Year's, I would say. We'll see, or maybe actually, I don't know. We'll see who wants to play because I'm trying to get people to come over every weekend and do some games.
I like that.
I wish there were people in the area that could really give you some tighter games locally, but we'll find out.
All right, sounds good.
All right, guys.
Well, hopefully the watching. And you can stream it. Hopefully, the final of the GT is TJ versus Nayden, and you guys can both stream it.
Ooh, that would be crazy.
Whoever's turn it isn't. Yeah, that'd be sort of cool.
Yeah.
So like I said, the format of the show is changing a little bit. Probably going to go to Wednesdays due to just where scheduling is. And we're only going to do one segment instead of 2 because a 2.5-hour show is tough to maintain. And also people sort of zone out. So but I'm trying to do 2 segments a week, still 2 hours or so, but split up. So it's easier to watch. But anyway, we're going to end it here. Tune in next time for more tournament updates. Got a lot of events going on. Probably slows down during Christmas. Appreciate you coming by, TJ, as usual. Well, we will definitely see you soon. We'll see what that GT goes. Talk to everyone. Maybe bring all you guys on. Have a little discussion.
All right, sounds good.
And, you too, Conor, man. Get some hobby and gaming going on. We can talk about it again later.
More narrative this weekend, actually.
Yeah, that's cool.
Ooh, baby.
Sounds good. All right, guys. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.